The first step would be for everybody to care about other people and not about themselves only.
People should respect each other, and not dependent with the color, the gender.
We must avoid all this confrontation, you know.
The fact that we're all humans is what unites us. So,
but I think you start to think of yourself more as a person from the planet.
The task of the media is to help society find a common language and communicate.
I think friendship and being nice to each other can unite everyone.
I want to live in a society where the people are very conscious, so they make conscious decisions.
Work for the sake of society, for the sake of love, for the sake of connection.
I see that all people want two things: love and respect.
Society is a compassionate society, a society that understands that your needs are, validated.
What unites us is being in relationship with each other.
It's about humanizing the human society.
Everybody has to be informed in a proper way.
Let's support each other. Let's help each other, no matter what another person may have.
In the creative society, human life will be of highest value, and the best human qualities will prevail.
Hello, dear friends, and welcome to online broadcast on ALLATRA TV Africa. And my name is Olga, and my co-host today is Olga too. And we welcome our friends from the beautiful African country of Namibia. And in today's broadcast, we will travel to this new country. We'll learn more a bit about its culture and about its beautiful people. And we'll hear their vision about the creative society. First of all, what is the creative society? It is a project that was launched on the platform of ALLATRA International Public Movement. And the goal of this global project is to ask all people on Earth, how do they envision their creative society? The society that would be free of the consumerist format, the one that would be safe and comfortable to everyone. To reach the goal of reaching out to as many people as we can in our project, we use the theory of 6 handshakes. And this rule says that all people on the planet are connected through 6 or even fewer social connections. We are all united. And in the end of the program, we'll ask our guests to pass on the initiative to their friends from their country or another country in Africa or from another part of the world. That would be awesome too. And now I'll pass floor to Olga.
Thank you so much, Olga, for your introduction. My name is Olga as well. I am from Russia, and we do believe that all of us are connected through at least 5 or 6 social connections, and it's very easy to spread the message about this global project started on the platform of ALLATRA International Public Movement on creative society. And today we will try to discover what is it creative society for our guests, and also we'll travel to Namibia. And let me introduce the guests of today's broadcast. Travis, maybe you can tell us a few words and introduce yourself.
Okay. Hi, everyone. My name is Travis. I am an American living here in Namibia. I've been here for 4 years. I'm married to a local. And I came here as a volunteer with the U.S. Peace Corps doing business development in a small town called Luderitz.
Thank you so much. So you will tell us about your impression about Namibia, yeah? How you see the culture from inside, like.
Sure.
And
okay.
also we have with
well,
us.
I can tell you that. I can tell you that from where I come from, what I experience here is totally different than what I would have expected. Windhoek, the capital city where I live now, is a bustling cosmopolitan city with beautiful restaurants, amazing people. Incredible experiences. The country in general is one of these places that everyone should visit. Coming from an American context, I feel like our understanding of the continent of Africa in general is fairly one-sided. And people, when they visit here, especially in Southern Africa, they're going to get a totally different impression from what they might understand that Africa to be. For those people that are interested in backpacking, this could be one of the best places in the world to backpack. For those that are interested in high-end travel, this could be one of the best places in the world for high-end travel. So whatever your budget is, I highly recommend taking some time, taking some money and checking out what's happening down here. It's a pretty incredible place.
Great. Later on, we will also see the photos of the country, so we'll be able to know more. And now we have also with us Kandali. Kandali, you can maybe introduce yourself, please.
Hello, my name is Kandali. I'm a Namibian. I'm 35 years old. I'm currently staying in Benduk, and basically I'm working here as an IT manager. So basically I know everything about Namibian. Now, my tribe is actually Oshivambo. We are called the Oshivambo tribe, and we are actually 50% of the country population. That's basically me in a nutshell.
Thank you. And Uno?
Yes, my name is Uno. I live in Namibia, based in Windhoek. Currently, I'm in a small town in Namibia called Babas. I'm a student and I'm a Oshierero speaking. So, yeah, that's it.
When we were preparing for the telebridge, we got to know that Namibia, it's a very scarcely populated country. Is it true? And then it's like almost, not so much populated. So what can you tell us?
Namibia is a very big country, basically. And just like you said, it's very scarcely populated. And what happened is our population should be around plus minus 2.8 million. Now, what happened is, unfortunately, because of what happened in the past, there was conflict in the country, there was war, and basically what happened is many of our people were killed by the Germans and South Africans because of the war those years. So basically, that actually really hit our population. That's why we are such a very big country, and we are like tiny. We're like 2.8 million basically right now.
I see. So let us watch now collages of the photos that our technical support has prepared. Maybe we can see them on the main screen. And then if you maybe have some comments, please tell us what you see, and to our viewers as well. And
yes, as an outsider, may I make a small comment? When you hear, I'm sorry, there are like many stereotypes and about my country too, that if it's a developing country, you'll see only some small villages and huts and so on, and like people wearing traditional clothing. But it's good that on this collage we see like the traditional huts that also, I guess you'll tell us, are preserved somewhere in Namibia. But you see, you have modernity, like the world is developing, and the beauty of such broadcasts is to shake the stereotypes that we have. Yeah, and yeah, welcome, please, to share your ideas.
Well, I'd like to speak first. The picture that's in the upper middle, the blue house, is Luderitz. That's where I originally started my time in Namibia. That is a small German coastal town, about 3 hours drive from Edinburgh. And you'll drive 3 hours in the middle of the desert into what appears to be nothing, and you'll end at this harbor town with a bustling port, with a diamond mine, with a lot of industry, with big fishing companies. It could be one of the most unique places on the planet. And that's just a testament to how many of these smaller towns in Namibia are. They drive 6-7 hours through the desert. As you said, it's very sparsely populated here, and you end up in these incredible, amazing places that you always dream about.
Okay, maybe we can watch the next collage of photos. Okay, now we have cuisine. So maybe you can tell us about the food. Which is your favorite dish, by the way, Kandali?
Mine is, I can't see it so very well, but I think the top one, it looks like what they call spinach. It's called traditional spinach. It only grows during December, usually when it rains, and basically it's very nutritious. Unless, yeah, I think so. I just can't see it so very well.
And like in the upper left corner, we see a picture. I guess there are some worms, or I can name it properly. Is it like kind of traditional dish too?
Yes.
Yeah. Cool.
And
I
Uno,
guess
what
it's
is
also
your
nutritious.
favorite food also? Maybe we can also ask Uno what is your favorite food.
My favorite is not there. Like us Oshiro people, we like fat cakes, goat head, tribes. We eat those inside tribes and the head and the feet of the goat and cows. Like you are not a herero if there is no meat. That's what they say. Like we love meat. Like where I'm based, where I come from, they call it the cattle country. So most of the hereros come from the east side, from Omaheke region. So we have a lot of meat here.
You see, I'm from Russia, and you know my favorite food is potato, because you know potato grows in such a quantity in Russia. You know, when I was in Africa, and people ask me, Olga, what's your favorite food? Can we give you like injera, gurasa? I asked them, no, can you please give me potato? They said, why it's like this? I told them it's my favorite food.
Is there anything similar to potatoes in Africa? Because as I know, in some regions,
Batata maybe. Yeah, could be patata
there
or
are something similar.
patata. You call it like this?
Yeah, we call it that.
Do you have it in Namibia? Then I will come to Namibia.
Yeah, we do have.
Yeah, definitely.
We have a lot of different variety of food. We are a small population with different ethnic groups.
Sorry.
Yeah, please, Matthew.
Yeah, so my wife's family is colored here. They're a mixed race population. And what's really popular for our family events is what's called Pointy, P-O-T-J-I-E, and that is a cauldron, like a black cauldron pot, kind of like what a witch would have, and they throw everything you can imagine in there. So that's a really popular dish. That would also have potatoes, vegetables, carrots, onions, what have you. And then kahana, which is kind of like Namibian street food, which is meat sliced up really finely. You dip it in spice and dip it in a onion and tomato salsa. I really enjoy that.
Thank you. And now we can see actually, I think, a desert, that beautiful yellow dunes. Is it like in which part of the country is it?
It's actually at the coastal part of Namibia. What happened is it's where the sea and the desert meets. It's called the Namib Desert. It's one of the oldest deserts basically in the world. That's where it's situated. And also what happened is we're having two coastal towns. We're having Stockholm, there's Walvis Bay. Most of the towns are actually, most of the towns at the coastal sites is where you find the dunes basically.
Yeah, you mean the picture in the bottom on the right? Yes, it's like a house full of sand. It means that just people cannot clean it and they cannot live there. Yes, yeah, the picture on the right.
So that's Kolmanskop. That's also in Luderitz, where I was living. That's a ghost town, a old mining town that's been overrun with sand dunes. So you cannot live there, but it could be one of the coolest places on the planet to take photos. It's absolutely incredible.
And I'm sorry to ask, maybe it's like not a planned question. When we are talking with people from around the world, like we also notice some different climate changes, you know, like there are maybe small, somewhere bigger. And is this phenomenon of a ghost city in Namibia, is it like, was it common for you for centuries? Or is it something new, like that villages now are covered with sand and people cannot live there anymore? If you know, like, just a question.
So I can speak to the history of that place because I was living there. Luderitz was the first place in Southern Africa that diamonds were discovered. And so it was discovered by the Germans in the early 1900s, I believe.
Yeah.
And so that town became a big diamond mining town.
Yes.
I can't really speak to the history of how the people that were locally were treated. But after all the diamonds were mined out of that area, they moved offshore. So now they're mining in the ocean, and that place since stopped producing diamonds from the late 1950s. So that's what happened for that to be a ghost town.
That's true, yeah.
What's the name of this town where they started to this exploration of diamonds?
There's actually Oranjemund. That's one of them.
Oranjemund.
Yes, that's where they explored diamonds. But initially, it started with Fludrets. That was the first place they were mining the diamonds. But now it's actually Oranjemund. Because what happened is now with Fludrets, just like Travis was saying, they must have depleted the diamonds there, and obviously it was finished. So what happened is now more diamonds were discovered at Oranjemund. That's now where they are mining diamonds on land and offshore till today.
Interesting. And also we heard there are some petroglyphs in your country.
Sorry?
Some petroglyphs. You know, these carvings on rocks that can be found also in some parts of the desert. Is it correct? Some ancient, you know, petroglyphs like part of history.
Maybe have any? Do we have any pictures of this or not?
No, probably not. We can actually make it for the next time for the second session to study petroglyphs. Also, I mean, in your country, because on the platform of ALLATRA International Public Movement, we have different projects, and one of these it's called a Science of Time, where we actually invite the researchers, the archaeologists, historians, actually even just ordinary people to study the history, I mean, in an expanded way. And it means like we are studying it together and discovering it together. And we have realized that a lot of artifacts can be still found, especially in Africa, on this continent, in petroglyphs. And of course, if you know our history, it will help us, you know, not to repeat the same mistakes and to build this creative society, because especially petroglyphs showing to us that the creative society existed before this model of society that we are talking about and that we have watched the video in the beginning of our broadcast. It existed before. So it means we are not coming up with something new, like a strange model of society, but we actually rediscovering our own past. So that's why it's very important, I mean, to know our history.
That's weird.
So we can have it for the next round table with Namibia. And
well, if you're traveling to Namibia, you wouldn't travel here to see like ancient cities, but the San people are some of the oldest civilizations in the world, and there's a variety of cave paintings and a variety of like ancient artifacts you can find, but you won't find large cities like you'd find in Egypt here. They're just they're not developed in that way. The San people were people on the move all the time. They would follow the animals, so they wouldn't build cities.
Yeah. Yes, you mean like that there were nomad tribes, yes, living here, but also like what we've been talking, why petroglyphs are interesting. These signs are found like all over the world, and even, you know, sometimes even studying not large cities, but small signs carved on rocks can tell us even more about our history and even more about the unity, because when you study deeper these signs, we see that they are really all similar around the world, very similar. That also bring us closer to the question, and it's really very united to the idea of the creative society too, because this is the idea of finding that common goal that can unite us, and like returning to our roots and understanding that our origins of our cultures were really very close. It's also like one of the tools to bring unity to people, to understand that there's no distance between like, okay, Ukraine and Namibia. If we see the same signs, painted or carved by our ancients.
Certainly. So let us now come to the second part of this broadcast, and maybe we can ask our guest the second question. How do they see changes in the society, let's say a progressive community of the 21st century where everyone is happy, and actually the world that we can leave to our children, that we will not be ashamed to pass to next generation. So let's maybe start with Uno on the opposite. So Uno, how do you see the creative society and this progressive community? What is it for you? Now we can hear you when you unmute yourself.
Yes, it's fine.
If Uno is not ready, maybe guys may start and like we'll continue.
Okay, let me start. Okay, from my side, how I see it for us to be a progressive society, obviously we are all different. We all come from different cultural backgrounds. We are brought up differently. We have got different beliefs. So basically, end of the day, we just need to find a common goal. And also what happened is we need to respect each other. That's basically what's very important. Doesn't matter whether I'm yellow, black, green, or whatever color, as long as I respect you and you respect me basically back. That way, basically, will be one of the ways, basically, which we can actually work together, basically, as a unit. Otherwise, if one don't respect the other one, basically, that's where the problem starts. So the biggest one for me is actually respect.
Maybe we can ask our technical support team to show, please, to us the first ALLATRA Foundation on the screen, because I think what you just mentioned about human being and respect to human being, it's actually about human life, because in this progressive community, it is where a human comes first. And let me write it for you, read it for you. Human life, it's the highest value, and life of any human has to be protected as one's own. The goal of society is to ensure and to guarantee the value of each human's life. There is not and never can be anything else more valuable than a human's life. And of course, if one human is valuable, it means then all people are valuable. And this is also, I think, what maybe you are talking about, a human life. Travis, are you maybe ready to make some comments on creative society? How do you see the creative society?
Well, I feel like there's a common term in pop culture right now called being woke. And what that means to me is like this idea of awakening to a new consciousness, to realize that we don't have to be dictated based on our subconscious patterns of the past, that we can come together and we can learn from each other and we can act as one. So I don't feel like the happiness is found out there. I think it is found within. And once we realize that we can create our own happiness from within, then we can better relate to those around us.
Thank you. I really like what you said about like this being like the new, like it's not only the format of society, it's really, as you said, the format of consciousness, because it's like a conscious attitude to our life, because like we've been born to this world and we've been conditioned like to live like we live, and we were like told not to ask questions. And when you start asking questions, it looks like you're some weirdo trying to change the world, and everyone like makes jokes at you. And but when we are talking with people, and our organization has done like thousands of interviews with people around the world and talking about the inner values, about what unites all people, you see really that like all what we want is the same. And these 8 foundations that we'll see all together, they started from these interviews. They're like not just imagined or created, it's already was generated by the wish of people, what people really voiced. Because like if you'll watch these foundations, they are all like, it's natural, it's like it's really a true human nature to live like this. Maybe we'll ask our technical support to show like all of the foundations to us. because these foundations really make sense when they are considered all together, because when you just name like human life, freedom, safety, it really may sound as some populist claims, but when you really analyze them deeply, what is human life? And the value of human life defines human freedom and human safety. And please, technical support, if we can see all of the foundations like in full.
Thank you so much for these comments. Maybe we can also ask Uno if Uno maybe has the access to microphone now, and tell us what is a creative society for you as well. How do you see it?
I see it as we all humans and we are one. We need to treat each other equally. It doesn't matter what color you are. At the end of the day, we are people. So you don't need to treat someone differently because they are poor, they are rich. Yeah, that's it.
Like the society where we don't, we have all our needs covered, yeah, all our life necessities, where we don't think about what we will eat tomorrow, where there's going to be enough food, security, social security, right? Something, you know, important for our life, yeah?
Yeah. And I guess here with us, not everybody has that safety and security, since most of the people, they don't have places to stay. So it's good to actually come together, build something or have something to support this less privileged people. They didn't choose to be in that. I mean, life took a toll. So helping each other is actually, it's important, and so everyone can be happy. I mean, we deserve to be happy.
Maybe we can also ask how do you see, for example, education in this progressive community? How maybe do you see healthcare? Like, what is it for you? Like, for example, when we can use also maybe advanced technologies, you know, for the medical care. To use even drones, because we had, for example, broadcast with Morocco, and they said like for them, like medical care, it's important. And then they see it when they, for example, a drone takes a drug. For example, someone is in need, and then simply they send the drone with this medicine to a village where maybe there is no infrastructure. I mean, there is no direct roads, and then the drones delivers the drug. So basically, technology facilitates our life.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it means like not talking about some like science fiction or some super technologies that are even not available. We are talking just about the basics that are really available. Like, okay, we are like 5 people, like somewhere in Ukraine, Russia, Namibia, and okay, we have internet, and it means like that we have maybe rather better conditions that some other people in living in even in our countries. And it means that it is already available, and it should be at least available to other people, because, like, for example, if you have internet, you have the access to unlimited information and to education. Even if you like have limited money, you can read a lot, study a lot. There's a lot of like free stuff, for example. So even we do not need to fantasize. We can even talk about the solutions that are already there, that should be like for us it's natural to have internet, but like kind of a big portion of our population still doesn't have it. And the same about these things. Even like drones used to deliver drugs, it's also it's not something fantastic, it's already there. Why shouldn't we use it like across all Africa and all African countries or in our countries?
And what do you study, Una? You, I think you mentioned that you are studying something, no?
Yes, I'm doing business administration.
It's interesting to know, because in this conference that actually we had last year, it was called Society The Last Chance, a global conference also organized on the platform of ALLATRA International Public Movement. People gathered from different countries, and they already confirmed, yes, they do need a change. And after this, we had a series of conferences related to specific topic. And one of these was economy, like plant economy. So we can easily organize, actually, plant economy. It's much more easier to arrange than the microeconomy. And in the creative society, for me, for example, when I can easily, have bananas. For example, I'm from Russia, and it was 10 years old when I first tasted a banana, because some things, I watched only on TV. So actually for us, plant economy, it's very easy to introduce when we have access to all necessities. For example, you send from Africa to us your exotic fruits, and we will deliver to you from, I don't know, maybe fish, potato, apples. Because, for example, when I was in Sudan, I realized that the apples are even more expensive than the meat. I was shocked. I asked, we have so many apples, on the ground, just, getting rooted. And in Sudan, it's even more expensive than the meat. And I asked why, and people told me, yes, because we are actually importing them from far away. So for us, at this point of technological development that we are now, it's very easy to come to this plant economy. And also we invite to collaboration the economists, I don't know, business administrators, because all together we can finally achieve it. And that's why I asked.
And from my side, I'm actually in ICT. I'm actually an IT manager. So at Dependis, we also do some of these services whereby we try to bring internet connection to remote areas like villages and stuff right now. So basically, because there are actually some places in Namibia which actually don't have access to the internet, basically. So at Dependis, we do some of these projects whereby we go to the villages and identify what kind of connection they need. Do they need wireless? Do they need VSAT? Do they need satellite communication? So that way, basically, we also bring information to the people, basically.
Yeah, and from a foreign point of view, Namibia in general, the salaries here aren't as high as they would be in the U.S. Yet things tend to be substantially more money here. It's harder to get things here. There's not as much of the logistics channels. So Olga, you're mentioning about delivering things via drone. And I know certain parts of the states, they're already doing that. It would be very beneficial for certain communities here to have access to those technologies. But one thing that Namibia will be challenged with, and that would be something that you'd find challenges throughout this part of the world, is that with not as many people and people are spread out, it's just harder to find that level of infrastructure. So here in the capital where we're all located, that's where you'll find the really nice hospitals. That's where all the banks are. That's where the insurance companies are. That's where a lot of the jobs are. And if you're living in a rural community, having access to those resources or having access to employment is not as easy. So as part of the Creative Society, what would be beneficial for a place like this is leveling out the way that income is spent and who has access to what. It's easy to live in the capital here and be kind of in a bubble, have access to good jobs, good paying stuff, nice cars, good restaurants, access to healthcare. But if you're in a rural community or you have the means to access those things, life can be very challenging.
This is what Creative Society is about, where everyone on this planet, every citizen on Earth has all their needs covered, regardless whether this person comes from the village, from the remote area, or from the capital, because the technology allows us to implement it already. So the question is exactly in this, how you call it, this materialistic attitude, this consumer format, that concentrates the resources in the, let's say, for the benefit of a small group of people. But in the Creative Society, the resources belong to all of us, to human beings. So that's why if we finally can go through this and come to this creative society, we can actually solve many problems that for us now maybe it seems, maybe it's difficult, but it's very easy to overcome. That's why we started this project on Creative Society, to be able to, for all human beings, regardless, I don't know, Namibians, Russians, Ukrainians, those who came from America, to come to this next stage of evolution. When you have, human inside of you, and the animal who is inside of you also, it's a kind of small, and the human being is big.
And that is why it is like we are talking to people as people, but it is interesting to hear like every one of you is involved in some sphere, like Uno is a student and Kandali is working in informational technologies, and like Matthew, what are you doing? Like you said, you live in the capital of the country, and maybe what you do, and so you may have some insights from the position of your profession, how it would change, what changes can be done in this new format.
Sure. So a lot of the work that I'm doing now is geared towards giving people access to knowledge as far as business is concerned. I'm not working at a university, but I do a variety of business skills trainings and business consulting for small businesses to try to give them that next push to get them into that global marketplace. So expanding those opportunities, making sure that those that have the ideas have access to the capital that they need to get those ideas off the ground. And for those that are unable to attend a university or maybe have dropped out of school at a younger age, they still have access to some kind of education that'll allow them to get into this society in this marketplace. So that's what I'm working on.
But cannot you say from the position of the work that you do, that also, like, as you say, it's connected to business and education, that it is being more and more affected by the market forces? And how do you see what is the influence should be like developed in the, because in education now it is common, like it's a concern. Some people think it's a benefit and some think it is evil, that education is being a bit more and more affected by economy and by market. It is driven by competition, by market forces, and it maybe loses kind of its educational core, that it should not only like teach some skills, but also develop each person as a personality, like from the holistic viewpoint. Or maybe others, maybe you have some ideas, because education, you know, when we talk with people around the world, education is most widely discussed, because it's really that the themes that concerns really everyone.
I mean, I guess just since that was direct to me, I'll just respond. And here, as in my life in the States, and I would imagine everywhere in the world, equal access to education is not available, just as equal access to healthcare or infrastructure is not spread across the board. So one thing that I do recognize, just as a foreigner living in Namibia, in a country that has relatively high income disparity, that there are several folks that have access to resources that will have access to the really nice and really expensive educational institutes and the universities, and others just won't have access to those, just socioeconomically.
Thank you so much, Travis. Maybe the technical support can show to us also on the screen one of the foundations talking about creative ideology. Because creative ideology, it's the fifth foundation for the creative society that tell us that education also, and of course, ideology should be aimed at popularizing the best human qualities, because now we actually getting like forgetting about this, that the best human qualities should be promoted, and we should create a trend to popularize them. And the main priority is the priority of humanity in education everywhere, and of course high spiritual and moral aspirations of a human. So that's why in education, especially education in the creative society, we have creative ideology as a basis. And maybe someone would like to comment something. Otherwise, we would like to also to invite everyone to join our upcoming broadcasts. And it's very easy to be in the program. You just go to the website www.allatraunites.com, where you can see the button to join. You click on this button, and then we will be able to see your request, and we'll be able to invite you to our upcoming broadcast. And also on the screen, our technical support just showed to us also the email address. Yes, how to join us as well. And this is our website. And you are welcome for this broadcasts and for joint discussion of our present and future.
Yeah, you can find even like more videos or other materials with the hashtags that you've seen throughout all our program, like ALLATRAunites and Creative Society. You know, they're already in all social media that you can imagine, and I think you can find and videos and articles and like other materials to learn more, like, and the more you learn, the more you will like it, and it's definite. And the more people join the project, the more people come together, the sooner we can like start making the real change. Because like talking to people and informing that the project was already started, it's only the first step that we initiate, because we're looking for like-minded people, because like it's a format of society, it's a format of really, like as Matthew said, consciousness that everyone wants to have, because everyone would like to feel comfortable and like to feel safe and secure, and know that like tomorrow you'll have like the means for not only survival but for living. And it's really what unites us all. Yeah, and if you have just any more ideas, what can we do to bring it closer, and what can each of us do, please share. Yeah. Okay, I understand. Maybe I don't want to like to push you, and maybe we'll also like to invite you to the more global conference that will take place on the 20th of December. This like in less than 2 weeks, And this conference was initiated by our American friends from volunteers of our platform. And it is like a new step to inform even more people about the project, to tell more about it and to connect, to unite even more people. And now we'll ask our technical support to play us the video release that will about this conference.
Every day, we share a great amount of information. This information forms our reality. Is this the way we wish to live? We need change. The change starts with us, with the information we share. Consumerist society leads us to death. We need a new vector of life, a creative society. It is up to you and me to build a creative society worldwide, where human life is the main value. Development of humanity is the main aim. Human safety is the main priority. Is it possible to build a creative society now? Yes. All we need to do is unite in one common idea, a creative society. People around the world are already acting to share the idea of creative society with the whole world to make it a reality. Learn how on the unique international online conference, Creative Society, United We Can, December 20th, 10 a.m. Eastern Time, live on ALLATRA TV. You are the one who can change the future.
Our dear guests, and for everyone who is watching and for everyone who will watch these broadcasts or other videos, yeah, and please connect, and if you can, please share this information, because it's high time that we understand that you cannot say I'm not alone, because like, what can I alone do? You're not alone anymore, and I am not alone anymore, and there are many of us.
Thank you so much for today, and see you in our upcoming broadcasts. And let's make a second session that we didn't have the chance to cover today about petroglyphs, and would be very interesting to get to know about the creative science and symbols on African continent. Thank you so much, and see you later. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
And thanks to everyone. Thanks for joining us, and bye.
Bye-bye.